Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm David Hopper, Austin Bureau Chief of the music site 360degreesound.com. The 2025 South by Southwest Music Festival is upon us. It's March 10th to 15th in Austin, Texas, and we'll be bringing you exclusive interviews with artists as part of our South by Southwest Artist Spotlight Series. Today, I'm joined by singer-songwriter Dyna Edyne, who will be performing at Vaquero on March 13th at 9 p.m. as part of the Carefree Black Girl Showcase. Dyna is originally from Miami, Florida, and is now based in New York City. Her music blends genres, including soul, hip hop, R&B, and Afrobeats, and she's made a name for herself in the industry with her charismatic personality and melodic sound. Dyna, thanks for joining 360.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I understand you're relatively new to New York City. You grew up in Miami. I was wondering how you liked New York so far.
New York's been treating me really good. What attracted me here is, the hustle and bustle energy. It's very much down my alley. I'm kind of like a workaholic, so it has been a super productive mission and journey so far here. So I can't complain. They've been welcoming me with open arms.
That's great. Um, so yeah, I saw where you wrote that you were really disappointed that you had applied for the previous South by and didn't get accepted, but now you're in. And I was wondering what your reaction was when you heard the news that you'd be performing at South by.
Yes, last year I know that they have artist submissions, and unfortunately I wasn't accepted, and I was just like devastated because I'm like, okay, I put a lot of work into my music. I was definitely hoping for a green light with that last year, but this year, it came through with, I didn't have to necessarily submit, but I was approached to come on stage this year, and that was just super exciting. And I've performed with Carefree Black Girl on their previous tour they had in 2024. So they stopped in Brooklyn. They had like a cookout tour, and they just, I guess they kept me in mind to join them on stage for their South by Southwest plug this year, and that was just divine timing. So
Yeah.
I was very happy. My reaction was definitely like, okay, this is what I was waiting for right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just like it made up for the sadness of last year.
Yeah. That's great. Well, it seems like your career has a lot going for it now. You're gonna start your Flourish and Flow tour. That's kicking
Yes.
off in a couple days, March 5th in Miami. And in
Mhm.
addition to the South by show, you'll be playing in Manhattan, Los Angeles, and Brooklyn. So that's exciting. And this is your first solo tour, is that right?
Yes, this is my first solo tour. Right now it's just like been a packed on March. So we're like, you know what, let's really make it a theme, flourish and flow. We're growing. Nature is a big part of my moniker as well as tree woman, also being known as that. So it's exciting. I feel like since we're going to be in so many cities this month, it was only right to just theme it out and make it a tour, situation, and make sure that the people that are in those cities are aware, that I'm
Mhm.
stopping, I'm coming through, so that we can get the just maximize the whole thing.
Mhm. That's great. Yeah, I meant to ask about Tree Woman. How did that start? Where did you go with that name?
Yeah. Tree Woman was definitely something that was inspired by a portrait, funny enough, when I first started making music, and it just like totally resonated with me. Being from Florida and Miami, like, we're surrounded by nature, and I am a rollerblader. I'm an active person. I like to be outside. And that's something that always brought me peace, is just being around the trees and greenery. So that was something I just like took with me once, the portrait of like a woman grounded, and like her arms were extended. So I felt like that was me. So um, it's something that also it just helps with the AKA. Like sometimes people mispronounce my name, Dyna Edyne. So that's just like another name that they can always hashtag or refer to me as well, to connect to the brand and the art.
Mhm. Mhm. That makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I talked a little bit about your music at the start. That I mean that description was from the South by materials, but I was wondering like how do you describe your music to people if you tell them you're a singer and if they haven't got a chance to hear it,
Mhm.
what do you say about your music?
I definitely would call it melodic, sultry. Um, I feel like my voice it definitely gets compared to artists like Erica Badu quite often, Chrisette Michelle, Ari Lennox, people in those areas. So I feel like I present that kind of vibe, but it's definitely unique. You're gonna know, my voice is definitely in its own lane, is what I like to describe it as. I like to kind of dabble in different genres as well. Soul R&B is my base, but I feel like I've been exploring with Afro world hip hop. I've definitely grew up on that. It's heavy influence on my projection and direction as well. So I'd say just melodic, soulful, eccentric
Hmm.
is a keywords.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Did you grow up? You mentioned Erykah Badu. Like, did you grow up listening to a lot of neo soul and 90s R&B and
Yes, so a lot of, artists that come to mind when I think of my, growing up is, Destiny's Child, Monica Brandy, Aaliyah. And hip hop was also a big factor. Like Tupac was a heavy influence for me as well, Biggie, Little Kim. New York always had to me like the hip hop, the core of hip hop. So I feel like being here it feels right. They have such an appreciation for that culture, for R&B, for soul, for like what feels authentic. I feel like, authentic music, a lot of it came out of the New York space. So um it's definitely heavy influence. It's
yeah,
influenced my music.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I understand that you really enjoy performing live. I think I heard you say that in one of your interviews. I mean,
Yeah.
would you say on stage is where you really flourish, to borrow the term from your tour? Is that where you're at? Your
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, performing is like definitely where I get to just kind of release and it's like a free feeling. So I think a lot of artists can relate when it's just like, you get to be vulnerable in a way where, you may not get to day to day. When you're on stage, it's like an astral projection. So it's like, and you get to connect with people through the music, and it's just like an immediate, um, telepathic experience almost with people you've never met. So it's like the audience and you get to like dive into a deeper level, um, and just relate on a whole nother like conscious level. So I feel like it's always fun. You never know what you're gonna get while you're on stage. The song performance, it always comes out a little differently each and every time.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, that's the magic of live music for sure. Um,
Yes.
so let's talk about your song "Honest." I understand that's one of your newer tracks, and you got a music video for it. What was your kind of inspiration behind that song?
Yes, Honest was my latest single release. I also released an EP On the Radar, which was a three-track as well as a live version EP. Honest though definitely dives into the core of my soul R&B vibe. It was one of my first songs that was co-written because I write all my music, but I actually joined forces with my cousin Patrice Alvarez, and she, kind of just assisted me in telling the storyline. She inspired that track as well. So it's kind of like when you're in an entanglement, with love, and you're trying to figure out like when is this person going to actually be true with themselves? So it's like, the hook says, I doubt that you'll ever be honest because it's just the same run around time and time again, but you're subjecting yourself to it at the same time. It's just one of those confusing things where you know what's best, but it's hard to actually follow through with what's best. And I think a lot of women and people can relate to that, with matters of the heart.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, lyrics. Yeah, your song "Fly," which I guess is several years old now,
Yes,
was placed in a Range Rover commercial featuring British heavyweight boxing star Anthony Joshua. So that was
yes.
pretty cool. I guess that was a big moment for you in terms of sync licensing, huh?
Yes, definitely. That came right when the pandemic hit. So you can imagine like the whole world's panicking. And then I received, news of that. I'm like, oh snap, like, out of all things. So it was very unexpected. It definitely was a surprise when it came to me. Um, and yeah, Fly is one of those tracks where it's like more it's a worldly song, like people of all ages could vibe to it. I felt like it was a perfect fit for their 50th anniversary
Mhm.
commercial. So it was definitely like, if anything, it was just more encouraging for me to continue my path.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely fit really well with the commercial. I understand that sync licensing is a source of income for a lot of artists today. I
Mhm.
imagine more and more artists are probably relying on that with record sales in decline. But
Yeah.
is that something you're like exploring a lot? The more opportunities for that?
Yeah, so right now I'm in between sync licensing deals, but I do have my initial project still up on a specific platform, which is how they got Fly. So it's something I want to just get more knee deep into because I focus a lot more on just conceptualizing my releases. But I want to partner with like just a great team to get that just more effectively running.
Mhm.
But I've had some pretty dope placements. I was placed on a couple movies, also commercials, hairline commercials with my music, things that also were pretty significant with landing. So I'm looking forward to continuing for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so you'd like to ramp that up, I guess. In terms of your South by experience, what do you hope to get out of that?
With South by, this will be again my first time, so I'm just excited to feel the energy out. I know it's just going to be so much things going on. There will be so many artists that I'll get to connect with and meet. So what I'm hoping to get out of it is just like network, um, just like absorb the vibes. I want to be present. I want to eat the Austin food,
Yeah, yeah,
I kind of just want to feel the culture. I know there'll be like people from all over, but I also want to feel what Austin is about too. So like I'm looking forward to like absorbing all of that and just meeting new artists and connecting. I feel like there could be magic made off of, you know, collaborating, potential collaborations. So that could be cool too.
will this be your first time in Austin?
No, so funny enough, I went to Austin um back in like 2018 and just like I think it was me and a group of people, a group of artists, so we were just trying to see shake and bake whatever we could do. And we were just like roaming the streets. We ended up performing on a radio station, like that was like happened to be outside on the streets of Austin. Like it was just us trying to see what we could get into, right? Not necessarily official artists for South by Southwest as of yet. So fast forward to now, where I'm like, okay, I'm on the bill. Let's make it happen in another cool way this time.
Yeah.
So this will be my second time in Austin. But that time I just remember the streets were packed. The streets were packed. And there were just there was something going on in every corner.
Mhm.
So this will be cool to be a part of it this time in a more exclusive way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's plenty to do. It's a bit overwhelming. It's so much going on, but I'm sure you'll
Yeah,
enjoy it. And like you said, have a lot of networking opportunities. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. It's great chatting with you. And encourage all our viewers and readers to check out Dyna Edyne's music. I wonder if there's just like anything in closing you'd like to say to your fans or anything we can expect from you in the coming months.
Yeah, for sure. Right now we're just about to take over the Flourish Your Flow tour. come out if I'm in your city. I also have a single coming out very soon in about 3 weeks. It's called Don't Hold Back, produced by Vitya. And it's going to be another soul R&B infused track. You'll hear a lot more range in the music as well as the instrumentation. So I'm super excited about that. And y'all, yeah, y'all could definitely look forward to more music coming out. We have a project that we're working on as well in the summer, so look out for that.
Great. Well, yeah, look forward to hearing the new music. Yeah, thanks so much, Dina, and I hope you have a great South
Yeah.
by.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
See you out there.
see ya.
Bye.
Bye.